Welcome back, everyone, and I'm here again with SBR contributor Jeff Grant, and today we're going to be looking at that college football game between the Baylor Bears and the Oklahoma Sooners. How you doing today, Jeff?
Doing great, Dax. This matchup is definitely not what it was expected to be at the beginning of the year, as Baylor has already suffered one loss, but more importantly, Oklahoma has 2 defeats. But definitely the Sooners are going to be ready for the Bears as they got their butts kicked in Waco a year ago. But, of course, this one's taking place in Oklahoma.
All right, man. Yeah, and Baylor's coming into this match with an 8-6 record against ranked opponents since 2011, which coincidentally was back in the day when RG3 bombed that pass to Terrence Williams to get their first ever win against the Sooners. So with that in mind, Jeff, do you actually think that the Bears can pull off another first ever win, but this time on the road, like you said, against the Sooners this Saturday?
It's very difficult to see the fact that they'll pick up a win on the road against a ranked opponent because they've yet to do that under Art Briles. I understand that there's 2 different eras when looking at Baylor under Briles' direction. There's with pre-RG3 and then RG3 and after, because the Bears are definitely a different program. But it's very hard to ignore that the Bears have dropped all 11 road games against ranked opponents during his time in Waco.
Yeah, man, I did a little bit more digging around, and I found that Oklahoma has won its last 11 rematch games against after losing to an opponent their previous season. So in your opinion, Jeff, do you actually think that the Sooners are capable of slowing down the top offense in the nation in the Big 12 conference matchup?
I don't think it's about slowing down Baylor, because that's going to be very difficult for any team to do. Baylor basically scores on any and every opponent. Really doesn't matter the venue. They do lead the nation with 590.3 yards per game, but I think it's more important to see what Oklahoma did on the offensive end last week. They came off a bye week. They were obviously focused under head coach Bob Stoops. They normally bounce back after a regular season loss. They picked up a 59-14 win over Iowa State, gaining 751 total yards in that affair. It's really all about the injury report this week with wide receiver Sterling Shepard. It basically is he's probable after leaving last week's game early on due to an injury. And some of the numbers that Bob Stoops has going in his favor, Dax, is the fact that he's 4-0 at home versus Big 12 top 10 opponents over the course of his time in Norman. And also the Sooners, 27-1 straight up in November home games, winning 22 straight in that situation.
All right, man. So you're going to hint us towards a bet on the Sooners in this case, or are we going to look at a total bet?
That's what the market's telling me, is the Sooners are the play. They opened up as 3-point home favorites. That number has risen to as high as 6 in the market. It was 4.5 at Pinnacle when I wrote the preview on sportsbookreview.com. But when you look at the Sooners, 7-2 against the spread as home favorites of 10 or fewer points in their last 9 opportunities in that situation. While you look at Art Briles, the defense is going to have a hard time slowing down the Sooners on their home field. And in his 33 losses since taking over the role at Baylor, they've allowed an average of 41.4 points in those defeats. So I'm going to lay the points with Oklahoma over Baylor.
All right, Jeff, as always, my man, it's a pleasure talking football with you, and I look forward to doing this again tomorrow.
Thank you.
No problem. For SBR Picks, this is Dax Floyd.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.